Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. No Time to Die is now seeing a 60 million plus opening weekend for 4 days opening. Interesting. Now we've got an update here for the totals. I thought we'd run through it. I like to do this with a lot of the movies that come out, and I was especially keen to do it for No Time to Die. Primarily, guys, because a good comparison between Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and kind of what that did and how that moved forwards and whether it was any good or not by comparison, and realistically whether this, a movie which did relatively well actually in the UK on its opening weekend, holds up to the grander international audience. And it actually appears that it doesn't, because hitting 60 million across 4 days is staggeringly low by comparison to the ridiculously high amount that Venom Let There Be Carnage hit across a standard opening weekend. I'm fairly certain, if I remember rightly, Venom Let There Be Carnage hit something like 90 million? Something insane like that. I could be wrong. I'm fairly certain it was 90 odd million. And now it's looking to top 200 million? Mental. Absolutely mental. In 2 weeks. Like $200 million. Again, that's not just domestically, but that's crazy. And I just thought it was interesting, compare the two. So let's dive into it, shall we? And also, I think this goes some way to explaining that you should release it universally worldwide all at the same time. Because I think undoubtedly this movie has been hit by the negative press, or at least the spoilers that have come onto the internet, with No Time to Die being released in the UK first. Of course it would be. Why wouldn't it be? Now, I will say this much, and I've said it many times, if people want to see the movie, they'll see it anyway. And I think that that's case in point here. But let's dive into it. Let's have a look. This is courtesy of Deadline. Monday AM, No Time to Die will wind up at 60 million plus over the 4 days, thanks to the Indigenous Peoples Day holiday in the Northeast. I don't know what that is. Can someone let me know what that is? I'm unaware of that. We don't know these things in the UK. But I'm curious. A 5 million to 6 million Monday is in store for the Keri Joji Fukunaga. So it's not actually done that yet, by the way. It's just how it's set to wind out. They're guessing. So it could even be less. It could be more. It could be less. Now, obviously, he directed the MGM UA Eon feature, which is in the space of Spectre's Monday, 5.3 million. But it's nowhere near what they hit opening weekend. Right? They hit like 70, 75, like 80 million if I remember rightly. So I will say, like, it's on par with those films. And maybe that's actually just Americans not being that fussed about James Bond. It could be. It could genuinely be. So what does that say about the UK currently? With their sort of affinity for James Bond. Anyway. They list off a whole bunch of numbers there. Kind of besides the point. Not really any point going into that. Now, among the top non-holiday Mondays during the pandemic are Black Widow of 7.1 million, Fast 9, 6.59 million, and Venom Let There Be Carnage of 5.75 million. And that's a good comparison, right? That's a good comparison. They are just Mondays. Normal Mondays. Nothing out of the ordinary going on. It's just a Monday. Black Widow hit 7.1 million. James Bond is going to round out 5 to 6 million. On a holiday Monday. If this was a top film, they'd be going out in force for a holiday Monday watching that, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? They really would. So I don't know what it is. Whether it's just a bad film and word of mouth has now circulated. I was genuinely dubious about how this was going to sort of cross over into the States and whether it was going to do any well or not. And I can see the damage control coming out now. I did a video yesterday where I discussed Barbara Broccoli coming out and basically saying, hey, we're not going to do spin-offs, don't you worry about it. That central character is the most important one. And I'm like, so why all the nonsense on the lead up to it then? Because it seems like you're pissing people off. Right? Undoubtedly. Yes, you're thinking great marketing. Great marketing can also be terrible marketing. And it looks like you've annoyed a bunch of people. So anyway, No Time to Die's 3-day eased to 55.2 million after a Sunday of 13.75 million, which is actually minus 24% from Saturday's 18.1. And again, as it stands as a holiday weekend, a 24% is quite a big drop off. Not drastic, but still quite a big drop off. Now, the internal studio polling showed that of those over 35, for a third of them, Bond 25 repped their first movie in 2 years. So they went out specifically to see this, over 35s. That's not a huge surprise. We've had COVID. Not a huge surprise. Now, weekend 2 of No Time to Die should be around minus 55%. I'm really amazed that they're banking a 55% drop-off already. That's quite big. That's quite a big drop-off. They're going to struggle to hit anywhere near the numbers that they need to hit to earn profit here. This will be the end of James Bond for some time. Like, Amazon has loads and loads of money, like loads and loads of money, but that will hit them in the balls. Like, they're not going to be happy about that. They will want, they need to hit like 800 to 900 million to start breaking even and going into profit. Like, that's too much money. So anyway, 55%, around 24.8 million, as Universal, Miramax, Blumhouse's Halloween Kills arrives to do a 35 to 40 million dollar opening. It's a pretty big opening, to be fair. Halloween Kills does that, and James Bond barely scraped 60 million. That's bad, isn't it? And that's when Halloween Kills is also being on Peacock at the same time. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. A name brand like James Bond should do much, much better than this. If it was a better movie, it would do better than this. Anyway, so a correction below, No Time to Die, when it dated itself during the second weekend of October, couldn't go at Thanksgiving this year as Paramount first had Mission Impossible 7. And even though Veterans Day weekend was open, when MGM made the change at the beginning of this year, it wouldn't make sense to put two older male spy action picks against each other. After Paramount moved MI7, they replaced it with Top Gun Maverick. And even though after that Tom Cruise film vacated the late fall holiday, UAR MGM couldn't push No Time to Die to that date. Apparently they had reshoots and stuff. No, it's fine, whatever. And we get like some commentary about Sunday AM, and again just how this has sort of all come around, right? So when it comes to Bond on the box office, the world is enough, and the bigger exclamation, as we first told you earlier this week, was going to be No Time to Die's global figure, which is coming in at 145 million. That's not good. That isn't good, right? I'll make a correction. It's good for the industry. Right, studio, because I did a video saying, oh, you know, opening weekend, that's great for the industry, because it is. There's a distinction between a movie's performance being good for the industry and how studios will view the industry, as in alive and kicking, and then a movie being profitable. This is not good for the movie to being profitable. 145.5 million is not good for the movie being profitable. That's terrible for the movie being profitable. Anyway, that comprised of its opening weekend domestic and second weekend abroad. We've heard there's great hold-ups throughout Europe, and with even bigger riches ahead in China when the Kerry Joji Fukunaga film lands there. All in right now for the MGM United Artists releasing Universal. Eon title is 313 million, apparently. However, domestic came in at the lower end of the expectations at 56 million. Which is mental. Now, it's interesting here, it says, that was never in the cards as the domestic box office, 39% of the audience was between 18 to 34 versus Venom, Let There Be Carnage's first weekend grab of that crowd, which is 64%. So, again, comparing Venom and Let There Be Carnage to this is interesting. It's genuinely fascinating stuff. So, I don't think it's going to do that much money today. Venom 2, by the end of Monday, will see 146.5 million. I think it's closed in on $200 million now. That's insane. It's doing so well. So there you go. I just thought it was fascinating to dive into this. The box office, how people are viewing this movie versus Venom Let There Be Carnage. What do you think? I've not seen Venom Let There Be Carnage yet. I see it on Friday because it's not out in the UK. It's out on Friday in the UK, so I'll watch it, give you my review. But what do you guys think? Do you think ultimately that, you know, the initial reports, no Bond girls, Nomi's, the new 007, all this kind of stuff, that initial trailer, do you think that has hurt the movie? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I think it does, despite the fact that they've backtracked very clearly. The second trailer very clearly tried to redirect things in a different direction. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe, do turn those bell notifications on, and do give this video a like if you enjoyed it and was entertained at the very least. If you stayed to the end, at the very least. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Mr. H. Take care.